In this training that I went through, for the moment, maybe take all the spiritual part out, simply the Kung Fu training, the Shaolin Kung Fu training. There is a saying which is, Shaolin Kung Fu literally means walking through the valley of pain. What does it mean? When you are doing stretching, it's gonna be painful. When you are doing strength training, it's gonna be painful. When you do conditioning training, it's gonna be painful. So the whole path on this martial art journey, it is just filled with working yourself up to the level of where it feels uncomfortable, getting some consistency into the practice until the point where that uncomfortable feeling just started disappearing. Why? Because somehow you broke that initial comfort zone. But then it doesn't end. No, next level. Until you're building up, first of all, whatever we're doing, later on I will show you some practices, it's not that I do not feel pain. I also feel pain. Maybe I feel it later, but the essential part is that my connection, my relation between the pain of the body towards what would it affect in the way of how I take my decisions, that is a different one. I feel the pain, but at the moment I feel the pain, but I see no necessity to still change something about my way right now. Why? Because I can take the pain. Whereas when you are not used to this pain, you feel it and then it tells you, let's say it's painful, the mind says, okay, it's not good, and so you directly change something. And this is just the difference. So it's not that I became numb. No, I just feel there is an additional layer that I can observe about myself. It is painful, but it's okay for right now.
And that's a habit you've learned, I guess, over time. That's a process you've learned, which is you still have the same stimulus, the same feeling, but you've learned to tell yourself a different story about that feeling, or you believe something differently about that feeling. Many people would feel the pain of, I don't know, starting a new career journey, starting a business, whatever might be painful. And they would tell themselves the story that means they are not good enough, or they shouldn't do it, or that it's a threat, and they might stop. Whereas because you've cultivated this new relationship with pain, you're able to do these things and tell yourself a better story.
I spent my lifetime, for some part, to really wanting to build up my body and build up the skills related to the field of martial arts. I want to build this up. Other people want to build up their business. I do think there is something similar in the way of building up. When I build up my body, how do I really build up? How do I make my body grow? It only works if I find a continuous way of exposing my body to situations outside of the comfort zone of what I know. Elsewise, it wouldn't be called growth. If I every day just do something towards the body that the body already knows how to do, there's nothing growing. So the idea of understanding where is the comfort zone of my body, then on a regular basis, very little, must not be a big jump, but very little, extending this comfort zone until the body naturally takes it as a habit in raising the bar of where your comfort zone actually is. Always a little bit. Always a little bit, always a little. But this only is possible, I think, by what's called going over your limits. But now comes the thing. You can go over the limits by really exaggerating and risking to be injured, or you make the idea of going over the limit consciously, aware, carefully, still going over the limit, but in a still controlled way, let's say. You know it's the limit now, but at the same time, at some point, you also realize our bodies, our mind is so intelligent. When we're stretching, at some point you feel like everything's gonna rip apart. But I know, and this is why if we would stretch, even though you say, it hurts, I know we can still go more. You think, but I just know Yeah, because your body is so intelligent that before something serious really happens, he tells you way before that be careful. And this figuring out where is really this limit, this is what makes the difference. There is a limit, yes, but this limit still has like a range of where we can still move inside. Yes. And I do think that this as a general line applies to everything if you want to grow. And step by step, by doing so, the comfort zone extends. So how is something new supposed to enter into your life? Well, there's only one way, exactly the way that many people are also afraid of right now, go into the unknown. But that's exactly what it is. If this table is our comfort zone, and you just stay on here, you will never know how beautiful London streets are if you just stay here. You need to go into the unknown. You need to slowly find your way out here. But that means that going into the uncertainty is nothing bad. For me, I'm really, really happy uncertainty is existing in this world. Because I cannot imagine how boring it would be if I would already know with certainty where I'm going to be in 20 years.